Good evening. Today we are jumping right into social media because this is what I get asked about the most. Next video will be about examples of content, but for now I just wanted to give you a base understanding of how you can think about social media so that you have a better chance of growing. When I get hired, this is always the first thing I hear. I hate social media, I don't understand it, you do it. And then I get pushed off right away, not getting any sort of structure or goals. I've always had to do that myself. And I hope that as you watch more of my videos, you will see that you absolutely need structure in order to grow in any sort of significant way. And that social media isn't scary. It's just that you don't understand it yet. I'm going to use Twitter as a primary focus because it's a very important platform for any commercial indie developer. It has fellow mutuals, journalists, active content creators, so it's just very valuable. I've done more business through Twitter DMs than through emails. Like I said in my last video, being good at marketing means looking at your work through an audience perspective. So be objective. Pretend that you were looking at your page for the first time. When you post, you're not talking into the void. You want to be reaching people, not bots. And people do see you even if they're not interacting. So I want you to start to recognize the posts that you like and you interact with and ask yourself why. And then this will give you a start to get you on that right mindset. So what I want you to do is basically study content and ask yourself, does this work? Or why doesn't this work? And content can be Reddit posts, YouTube videos, tweets, anything like that. You might be thinking, ugh, this is so obvious. I get that all the time. The big problem is that's how people see marketing. It is obvious and logical once you understand it, and I find as a marketer, people often take me for granted, and that can be very frustrating. To make good, consistent, curated content takes a tremendous skill in this age, and it'll only become more important as time goes on. If someone is bringing you results, then pay them what they're worth and let them do their job. This skill is invisible, it's subtle, it takes research and experience. It is not an entry-level position. People need to stop thinking that because they are not getting the results that they want. Knowing how to post is easy, but creating engagement is difficult. So you should be trying out different kinds of content. Experiment. You'll see what the audience will respond to and what they won't. Think about the type of audience that you want to attract. For example, I don't post too many memes because then I will only get audiences that want those memes, right? But if you only post your game, then that gets really stale. And people don't want to follow robots, they want to follow a personality. This is a creative job. Dude, if I'm burned out, then I can't think of anything to tweet. I have to be in the mood just like anything else creative. So have fun with it. I think of social media as a game in itself. If a post doesn't do well, then I don't stress out about it. The numbers will go up and down, and that is just the reality. So if a post doesn't work out, just try it again. It's just a post, right? Marketing changes all the time. The shelf life is usually around 6 months because platforms and people are always changing. What worked years ago is probably not going to work today. The internet just moves fast, and good marketers just consistently research to keep up with what's working. And honestly, that can take a lot of time. So I'm going to give you a good basis to help you build a strong foundation because these concepts I'm about to say are they're always going to last. The first one is be patient. Be patient. Be patient. I could say this 100 times more. Repeat this to yourself when things aren't working out. It could take years, and in fact, most of the time it does. There is no magic formula. I don't like it when people hire me and they expect me to give them some kind of magic results like I'm some sort of wizard or fairy. That just doesn't happen. It always is going to take time, so you need to be patient. Any kind of decent sized content creator will tell you that they did something for years and they slowly got better at it, and then all of a sudden there was a burst. And usually there has to be several viral, whatever, in order for them to get where they are. And then also they probably had help as well. So be patient. Next up is be consistent. Remember, everything you're posting to has an algorithm. Every single platform does. But I want you to not rely on quantity, but instead quality. One good post a week is way better than a bunch of junk posts every single day. Like, think about your audience. Think about what it is that they're going to like. Just be mindful as you're posting. Next up is be focused. Not only should you be consistent with how often you post, but what are you posting? If you have a game about the sea, then post about sea life. If you have a horror game, then post Halloween jokes. Stick to just 2 or 3 main topics at a time. Now, my personal brand is cute things, game dev, and selfies. Like, I've learned that that is me, that works for what I do. And sometimes I will deviate from that a little bit, but the people who follow me are usually expecting that, so I'm going to create more engagement if I stick to those things. Next up is be relatable. Many times people like something when they see themselves in it or when it's giving them some kind of emotional reaction, and that's why hot takes and humor get a lot of engagement. Understand context. Man, whew, this is tricky, but it's powerful. And it's a little bit hard for me to explain, but I'll try my best. How you put a post together is underrated. So, for example, I don't like hashtags, and I think that when you use hashtags, keep in mind hashtags on Twitter are blue while the text is white, and so that really stands out and it doesn't look clean. It looks kind of messy. I think when a developer is not using hashtags, that shows that they have confidence that yes, people are going to like what it is that I'm posting. Like, let the content speak for itself. You don't want bots to carry your post. You want people to like your post enough that they're sharing it with their friends, right? I would think so. Many times I look at posts and sometimes I'm just like, just put in an emoji or no text at all would be better to create more engagement. Or sometimes just having like a simple explanation of what people are looking at instead of asking people for a wish list would work better. But this kind of idea, this comes with experience. You'll learn that over time. All right, here's my last concept. Storytelling. Whew. Yes, again, you want people to buy your games, and people love narratives. They love storytelling. This is like the king of content. If you get this right, then everything else falls into place. And this is why branding is so important, but I'll have to make another video about that sometime. So many developers tell me that they don't have time to do social media, so I do have a bare minimum to focus on, but I just want you to think of it as a foundation, and eventually, after a time, I would like you to grow from these bare minimums. All right, number 1, spend a full day making clips and posting once a week at least. So what I mean by this is that developers say, I don't have time every day to wake up and make a post. And I totally agree with you. So what you should do is create a system, meaning you take 2 days out of the month, just 2 days out of the month, and focus all on creating content. So make all your clips, ask all your questions, do the polls, whatever you got to do, and then you can schedule them ahead of time. That way you can focus on your development for the rest of the month. Easy, right? Next up is break everything down in your game into small sections, small bites, different chunks. So what I mean by this is like maybe you have different characters or different items, different mechanics, different areas in your game. Just look at your game and break it down and post that a little bit at a time. That works, right? That will allow you to string out your content and give something that people can look forward to. This leads into my next one, which is pay attention to what's popular. What are people liking the most about your game? Is it a particular character that they like, or a boss fight, or a mechanic that they're really excited about? So whatever it is that people are really liking, and you will notice from the comments and the tweets, it'll be very obvious, hopefully, of what people are liking the most. And then you can use that to further your development of that section of your game, or you can use it in your trailer. It's just very valuable data. All right. This one is going to be tough for me to talk about. This is a hard pill to swallow, but I'm saying it to help developers. This is it. I'm always asking this question. Is your game marketable? And what I'm about to say next doesn't matter if you're just making games for the fun of it. If you're just making games for the sake of making a game, no problem here. But if you're trying to make a game and make a living off video games, like you want to be a commercial professional developer that works on games full time, then this is for you. If your game is getting just very little engagement, it may be time to try a new project. So if you are consistently posting your game, you're taking it to maybe Discords and places, and people are just not excited about it, that should tell you, like, if they're not going to like a tweet, then they're probably not going to buy it. So I'm sorry to say that, but the good news is that every developer I've ever met always has a lot of ideas, right? So if this isn't working out, then just try a new idea. And this could save you a lot of time and a lot of energy, and so you can focus on a project that maybe can do better for you. And always, like, you can work on it again, right? Like, you can work on different projects at the same time, or put that project to the side and work on something else. Like, there is no rules, right? And also, sometimes what I'm saying is not, the rule, right? Like, there's always exceptions to everything. So this isn't going to apply to everyone, but that's just a pattern that I've noticed. If it's not doing well on social media, then it's probably not going to sell when you're finally ready to release it. So that is just, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I have to say that. I hope you understand though. I love you, and I hope you understand my perspective from it. So I'm going to end the video with this. One of your biggest goals should be this, that people are coming to you instead of you always having to reach out. Meaning that it is a sign of success if credible companies and content creators are asking about your game. So they could be like, is a demo out for your game? Can I play your demo? Can I do an article about your game? Can you be on my podcast? When is your game gonna come out? If people are asking you these questions, like credible people, then that is the sign that you're on the right track right now. And it's a sign of a good game that you have to sit back and you're making something cool, you're making something interesting, that people are coming to you. It is a lot more stressful if you have to be always the one to go out and be like, play my game, play my game, play my game. You want people to play your game without even you having to say anything, right? You want to show, not tell, correct? We've all talked about this. So having a good game is half of it, but then also how you're presenting it to the world is the other half. Making a strong foundation for yourself with social media is going to take you far. So good luck and have fun with it. This is Starlight Skies, and I'll see you in the next video.